How do you become fearless in business? I'm Penny Lane, and In the Driver's Seat starts now. Welcome to In the Driver's Seat, where we delve into the lives of extraordinary individuals who drive their industries forward. In this episode, we explore the inspiring journey of Kathy Sheeran. Hello, Kathy.
Hello, Penny.
Oh, it's so good to see you. If I was going to sum up anybody as bold and fearless, it would have to be you. Now, I've known you for a long time, and I've known you've had a lot of careers and made all of them successful, and you're no stranger to change. Tell us about your career journey, starting off with your finance career and what led you into that.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's a long time ago. So we're talking when I first left school, and I left school at 15, and I'm now nearly 55. So that's, 40 years ago. So yeah, left school and just happened to have started working for a finance company as an assistant, as a finance broker's assistant, where we did corporate lending. And then that led into me being a finance broker. I did that until I was probably about 40, I think it was. So I did that for a good 25 years. And that's where I actually met my husband, Mike, and we've been together for 23 odd years. And then from finance, doing corporate lending, I started a little side hustle called Shopping Confessions. Which started, I was on the lounge with Mike one night. It was a Friday night. I remember it as clear as day, drinking a glass of wine. And my ability to shop is a gift. and I said to Mike, I said, babe, what do you think of the name Shopping Confessions? And he just rolled his eyes and went, oh, here we go. And I went, dear Mikey, please forgive me for I have shopped again. And he says, what are you talking about? I said, babe, I'm going to start a blog because everybody asks me whenever I'm wearing clothing or jewellery or homewares, where did I get it from? And I was really good at nabbing a bargain. So I started a blog called Shopping Confessions, and I would write about where I got all my items from and do a bit of story, make it a bit of fun.
And very truthful.
I'm very, very truthful. And if I didn't like something, I would tell you. It's where you couldn't pay for a good review.
Yeah.
Within a week or two of launching the website, I got a phone call, which was from Channel 7, the morning show, one of the producers, asking if I would do a segment on the show. And I thought it was actually a prank call.
Yeah.
And it took about 10 minutes for them to convince me that it really was the producer from Channel 7. And I said yes. I've never done live TV in my life. I had, I think, 2 days to prepare. I was doing a big gift guide of things that I bought, vomited the whole way in over the Harbour Bridge.
Oh, you poor thing.
Freaking out. And as soon as I walked in, I was made to feel welcome. The hosts, Larry and Kylie, were amazing. I loved it. Got called back just about every week since then. And then started writing for the Sunday Telegraph, and I've never written a column in my life, but then I had a column in the Sunday Telegraph all about shopping, and that went on for 10 years, and then at 50 I'm now a flower farmer.
That's a pretty big leap of faith to go from finance to just follow your dream and be on TV talking about shopping. And that's something that a lot of people would be scared of doing, I think, because when you're stuck in a career that pays well and you've worked hard to get to then throw that away to chase something else, I think that's really bold. And even if you got that job by chance, you didn't keep it by chance, and you did that until you were 50, is that right?
Till I was 50. Look, I'm a big believer of you've got to do what makes your heart sing.
Agreed.
If you wake up in the morning and you find going to work is a chore, and it's not easy for some, and I totally appreciate that, but you've got to make change. And I'm lucky that I've got a partner and a husband who supports all my crazy ideas, and he is my biggest supporter, without a doubt. And always making a career change, I don't do it for the money.
Yeah.
Although it helps. I find that if you do it with love and heart and determination and really, really hard work, you've really got to hustle, the money will follow.
Yeah.
And with Shopping Confessions especially, because I was leaving a 6 figure salary to shopping confessions, which for years, which people don't know, I was earning next to nothing. And people think because you appear on TV that you're making all this money. I did it for nothing for the first few years because it built credibility, and that's what got me other jobs. So you've got to look at the big picture. If you try to make a buck quickly, it's not going to happen. And the same with farming. Like the amount of money that I've thrown into it and the losses because of the seasons, like I'm so reliant on the weather, but I bloody love it. Like I wake up in the morning not saying I've got to go to work. It's like, what have I got to do today?
Yeah, that's amazing. What was the moment when you were in Sydney and you thought to yourself, right, I need another change and I'm going to up and leave everything and I'm going to buy a farm? What was the moment that sparked that?
Doesn't it? No, so Mike had always said to me in the first couple of years of marriage that he would actually like to retire up in the Northern Rivers. He lived here in the 80s and he loved it, and it was something that we were going to do down the track. But we were in Sydney and we were just so unsettled and miserable, and the traffic was just, we lived on the northern beaches, and to get anywhere, you had to allow 2 hours each way in peak hour traffic. And that's 4 hours out of your day. And we were just miserable, and we were sort of grumpy with each other, and just everything just felt like it was getting on top of us. And we decided to start looking up here. We thought, why wait till we retire? Why not start looking now?
Yeah.
So we started looking on realestate.com, and this, where we live now, it's the only place we looked at up here, kept popping up. And I said to Mike, where's Burringba? Because I've never heard of it. So we've looked it up on the map and we've gone, okay, so, it's 20 minutes north of Byron, 30 minutes south of the Gold Coast. So I flew up first to come and have a look at it.
Was you fearful, Kath, at that time? Was you fearful of making that change?
No, I was excited. I could not wait. I'm a typical, once there's an idea, I'm like a bull at a gate. Mike actually has to slow me down sometimes. It's like, go, 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 go. And I came up, Mike stayed home with Maui, our dog at the time, because she just had surgery. Liam, my stepson, picked me up from the airport. We drove, as soon as we drove into the street and pulled up at the front of the farm, I said to Liam, this is it. And we walked down the driveway and I went, no, the house was old and run down, but the block itself was overgrown, but I don't know, I got goosebumps. I just said, this is it. So I rang Mike and said, found it, I'm flying home, you're on a flight to come and have a look at it on the Saturday, which he did. He loved it too, made an offer, all accepted within a week. And Mike goes, right, we're going to rent it out for 2 years. I've gone, what? What are you talking about? No, we're settling in February. We're moving up there. No. He goes, we've both got our own businesses. We need to get that sorted out. We're not ready. And I was devastated.
So you moved there with no plan of any income, no plan to start a new business, just...
No, not at all. We actually stayed in Sydney, and Mike's plan was to rent this house out for 2 years before we moved up here. But I wanted to go now. And then Mike got stuck in traffic going from the Northern Beaches to where the Northern Beaches Hospital is now. And he rang me and he said, babe, how serious are you about moving now? And I said, mate, I'll have this house packed up in 2 weeks. He said, you know what, let's do it. And we did. We absolutely settled in February, moved up in May of 2019. Mike was commuting to Sydney every week, flying in Monday, flying home Friday. So I was up here by myself for every week until COVID hit, and loved it. And I was driving to the Gold Coast to do a couple of live crosses for some of the morning shows from their studios. But then my heart wasn't in that anymore either. And I just went,
time for a change. So how did you come up with the idea? Had you ever grown flowers before? Because now you've got this amazing business and been successful in another way. How did that come about?
Okay, so I've always loved flowers, always. So I remember when I first moved out of home that I would, every Friday was flower day. and I would buy myself a bunch of flowers, and even if I couldn't afford them, I would go without dinner and buy a bag of hot chips just so I could have flowers in the house. I just love them. I just think they bring so much joy. It's my calm. I just love it. And when we moved up here, Mike and I started, because we're on 12 acres. So we're not a big farm, and there was nothing here. The only thing that was on here were, I think we had about 300 mandarin trees and 100 lemon trees, which we lost a lot of the lemon trees in the floods. But we decided to put 6 veggie boxes in. So we're going to start growing our own food. So we've got these 6 veggie boxes. And to me at the time, I've gone, how the hell are we going to fill these 6 veggie boxes? And then that was done. And then I said, Mike, I want a little garden where I can start. Why buy flowers? Why don't I grow them myself? So I started growing flowers. I think it was dahlias that was the turning point for me, that I started growing and just fell in love with. And then I started doing some workshops in the area, and then I started going onto YouTube, and then the garden just sort of started getting a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger. And Hannah, who is a flower farmer and has a florist in the Newry Bar, I got a message from her because I did a workshop with her, and she sent me a message through Instagram and said, Kat, your flowers are beautiful. When are you going to start selling them? And I went, well, I'm not. And she goes, why not?
And so it all started from there. What advice would you give to somebody? We're almost out of time, and I really want to know so much more about what you're doing. What advice would you give to somebody that is really bored in their job or really bored with their situation and wants to create that change and that dream life of living in the country? What kind of advice could you give to somebody in that situation?
Don't be scared, because if you don't like it, you can always go back.
Yeah, that's
my
true.
My father taught me that you don't want to go to your grave wondering what if. I'd rather give it a go and fail than not give it a go at all. And I don't see it as a fail. I see it as a learning experience. Because if this didn't work out for us, we sell it and we move back to Sydney. But we ain't going anywhere. You just got to follow your heart. Do what makes your heart sing. If it makes you happy, it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else.
That is so true. Yeah, I love the way that you keep reinventing yourself. I'm a change junkie, and seeing you go through all these changes is so inspiring. You're just so fearless. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on, Kath. It's been really lovely to chat to you again.
You too.
In the Driver's Seat is brought to you by the Perfect Cosmetics Company. Join me next time to learn more from industry legends about how you can take the wheel and steer your life in the right direction. This is Ticker, and we'll be right back.
You're watching Ticker. We'll have more in just a few minutes.